Can't quit smoking? This video is about how smoking creates an addiction in our brain. Make sure to hang around till the end of this video to learn the reasons why you can't quit smoking and what to do about it. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death in the world, killing nearly 500,000 people each year. It clogs up your lungs and can lead to many other problems, such as heart disease and cancer. Cigarettes are often marketed as mild, but they're actually highly toxic. The nicotine in cigarettes makes people crave the next cigarette. In time, this craving becomes stronger than self-control or willpower. When the nicotine is gone from their system, smokers are left with a powerful urge to light up again. When a person first begins smoking, nicotine binds to receptors in the brain that stimulate a reward pathway. With time and repeated exposure to nicotine, it can become increasingly difficult for some people to stop smoking because of withdrawal symptoms that are similar to drug addiction. Scientists have pinpointed specific areas in the brain that could be responsible for these types of withdrawal symptoms that make quitting so difficult. Nicotine is a chemical compound found naturally in tobacco products such as cigarettes, cigars, and smokeless tobacco. Tobacco use is the single most preventable cause of death in the United States. In a recent study, scientists are studying how chronic nicotine impacts the brain. They found that chronic nicotine use alters the brain's dopamine system and makes it harder to quit. Why smoking is so tough to quit? Not everyone is cut out for quitting smoking. Scientists have discovered neurons in the brains of mice that may someday make kicking the addiction a lot easier. The research was done by a team of scientists, and they gave mice nicotine-laden water for 6 weeks to see how it affected their brains. After 6 weeks, their brains were hooked on the chemical just like human brains. Nicotine and other addictive substances stimulate a particular type of receptor in the brain called a nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. These receptors are located on synapses, the cells that connect neurons to each other. When nicotine or an addictive substance activates these receptors, it disrupts the synapse and changes the way messages are sent between cells. I remember those days, even though I told myself, no to smoking, my brain would find a way to convince me that smoking was a good idea. I am an ex-smoker now and have some advice for any smokers who are stuck in the same situation. I smoked daily for 20 years before finally giving up cigarettes. It took me many tries over many years to finally quit smoking, but I am glad I did. I encourage you and others to give up cigarettes as well. The truth is, it was my brain that tricked me and kept telling me you can't quit smoking. In order to stop smoking for good, you have to listen to your feelings of willingness to quit and challenge your brain. Your brain is telling you that it's better to smoke because that's what your body craves, but your feelings of willingness will tell you the truth. Breaking the habit of smoking can be difficult and is often harder to do in the long term. Some ways to make it easier include using nicotine replacement therapy, using yummy-smelling smokeless cigarettes, and planning a reward system. Some people find that resisting their cravings and distracting themselves from smoking can be helpful. Well, the best option for this individual would be to quit smoking to avoid generating a cloud of tobacco smoke that would make everyone around them uncomfortable. Most addictive drugs in tobacco act in the brain and make it difficult to quit. The design of cigarettes is designed to rapidly deliver nicotine, which is the main drug responsible for cigarette addiction. Nicotine is a drug that makes you feel good in the short run but leads to a damaged body in the long run. Since it triggers chemical imbalances that your brain tries to avoid, you're continually more and more drawn to them at higher levels. It can also lead to addiction as obsessive behaviors start taking over. As people become addicted, nicotine addiction can change your brain chemistry to affect your decision-making and personal behavior. With time, it can even make you feel like you need to consume nicotine in order for your brain to function properly. It's common for people to stop smoking, but it can be tough. Your brain might get irritable and you might feel more lonely or get more anxious. It's also likely that you'll have trouble concentrating or sleeping, have stronger urges to smoke, or just feel generally less comfortable. Withdrawing from cigarettes can bring about some addictive feelings and reactions. These will lessen over time, but during the first few weeks it's normal for your body to be in a state of shock. Some medications contain nicotine, which allows you to slowly get used to the idea that you are not getting as much nicotine from smoking. Smoking cessation might be difficult, but it's easier to avoid the habit if you don't use cigarettes. A common routine that has been proven to be effective is one that doesn't involve cigarettes. Though some of your routines may seem tempting, it is best to avoid them as they can pose serious health risks. Without cigarettes in your platform, it may be hard to participate in these routines with the same ease as before. Triggers are the events or thoughts that cause smokers to have an initial moment of craving for the sensory stimulus that can then lead to behavior such as having a cigarette. People can have urges that coincide with certain triggers, including when stressed or happy or relaxed. The feeling that typically follows quitting will trigger the urge for a cigarette. When you have made the decision to quit smoking, then you will come up with coping strategies at work, home, and social activities. Millions of people have joined the global movement to quit smoking and are quitting for good. The most report is feeling better after they have been smoke-free for some time. Quitting smoking can be difficult, to say the least, but these challenges should help give you some insight into managing both during your daily routines. You made it through the day without smoking and figured out what worked for you to get through your activities. Now, the real challenge begins, getting back to living a healthy life. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.